So I'm very, very, very excited and I'm grateful to be here with you today. I know it's been a minute since we've been able to actually gather together in-person training. So before I begin, I'm just seeing mostly new faces, so I'll introduce myself. I am Victoria Tabak. I am the CEO of Napier Clinical Skincare. And a little bit about Napier. We actually celebrated 25 years last October, and all of the products, all of the formulations are created by my father and I. He's a scientist. We're originally from Eastern Europe, and that's where a lot of our traditional concepts and remedies come from. NaturePure was the first company over 25 years ago to introduce Hippophaia berry, also known as sea buckthorn, in the aesthetics industry. You can learn the story, how it all started, on our website, naturepure.com. And I mentioned before, please make sure you connect with us on Instagram, on Facebook. On TikTok, it's just my handle, Victoria Tabak, but I share a lot of tips, ingredients, even self-care that you can then share with your clients. So trying to stay on top of all of our platforms. And a little bit about myself. I've been an educator in the aesthetics industry already, probably getting close to now 15 years. I have been published in all of the aesthetics industry magazines, Skin Inc., Dermascope, Day Spa, so on a slew of different topics, from ingredient knowledge to skin conditions, so you can tap into a lot of that education and resources on also our new education portal, which is still in its beta form, but we're adding more and more content on there as well, so you can learn more about how to become a professional member and tap into all of those resources. You can just always, you can connect with us, whether it's by our email, natpure@naturepure.com, or chat on the website, or call us. You know, it's very, very important that we know that all of our spa partners know that we're here for you, we're here to support you, whether you're, you know, a seasoned spa with an entire team or solo esthetician. We want to be able to support you at whatever level you are in your development, professional development. And yeah, that's about me. I'm a two-time award-winning esthetician as well. I'm New York and New Jersey licensed. And about Napier, so we did celebrate 25 years last year, and specifically about the products. We are a true holistic brand. So that means we're not all organic and all natural. We are the marriage of organic and natural and clinical. We take advantage of the latest science and technologies, aside the fact that we have our own patents and technology, which it's a patent that was worked very, very hard on by my father and another scientist from Yale University. So we're actually going to talk about that in our class as well, because it's very relevant to this treatment, which is another reason why this acne treatment is not like any other acne treatment out there. All of the products are paraben-free. You don't use any artificial coloring or any artificial fragrance in anything. The colors you see, the aromas you smell, it is from the source of the actual actives that are in there. Most of the formulas are vegan and gluten-free as well. So, and when I say holistic, it's very important because it's really, you have a marriage between like the very advanced traditional kind of remedies and therapeutic practices, all the way to more advanced ingredients like benzoyl peroxide and salicylic acid, which are great ingredients depending on how you're treating whatever is the condition. So we always look at the client as a human being. What is their concern on a holistic level? How are we treating their acne from every single aspect? And then we try to find that perfect blend for them depending on what stage of acne they are at. Okay? Any questions before we begin? So, no? Technical difficulty. Yeah, bear with me. My forte is like my hands, not so much technology, but um, let's first start from the basics. We really want to understand what's actually happening with our client's skin, because otherwise it becomes like a very standard cookie cutter approach, and that is the opposite of what we educate you to do. And that's what sets us apart, why our clients, they can go to dermatologists. But I always tell my clients, especially with the younger clients, it's very, very different with adult acne. I'll show you before and after. Actually, I don't know if you saw the banner. I've had acne in my life, and it is something that, actually, if you look at the flyers, that's me. So if you're like, oh my gosh, yes, that is actually, so I know firsthand what it's like when you have acne. When I was a teenager, I had very mild acne. I actually, when I approached 20s, where it's like that social time in your life, you're supposed to go out with your friends. I remember I wouldn't even want to go out with my friends because I knew everyone's going to be snapping photos. And it's so interesting, and this again goes back to that holistic approach. Our mind, our body, our spirit, it works together. When I had acne, I honestly felt like I was the unhealthiest in my life, because when we're not at our peak state in one aspect of ourselves, it just kind of seeps over into everything else. It just happens to be this way. So it is not just the treatment. This isn't like we want that beautiful glow and we want our clients to feel good. Of course we want our clients to feel good, and of course we want them to have that glow, but this is so much more. This is a life-changing treatment. When I competed in the International Aesthetics competition, I competed in 2 different categories. One of my clients had adult acne, mom of 3, worked with autistic children. By the way, if you want to watch, it's an 8th video case study, 2 minutes each. Literally, every time I watch the 8th video, and she's like, this literally has changed my life. I want to try new things. I get all emotional, not just because of my hormones, but this is such a rewarding opportunity, because acne literally impacts us on such a deep psychological level. And when we're able to make that difference for our client, and make that difference without the medication route. So if you haven't encountered this yet, I'm sure you will. If you're targeting that acne client, or maybe you yourself are dealing with some level of acne, and we'll talk about the different stages in just a few moments. But I've had cases, especially with one client that I'm thinking of from the top of my head. His mom came hysterical to me, and she's like, I'm ready to I'll put him on any medication, I'll do whatever. And I told the mom, I was like, give me a chance, but you have to follow my instructions. So it's very, very important. If you have to get your clients to sign an agreement, get them to sign an agreement, because if they're not doing something, they're gonna be like, well, it's your treatment. No, you have to the T, follow my instructions, and we can make a difference. If you still, so verbatim, this is what I thought. If you still want to go to your dermatologist and explore the medication route, you can always do that. But once you start there, your skin will not respond the same. It will still respond. It's just now you have to backpedal and get your skin to kind of remember how to respond from a holistic approach instead of from that more medication. And I think it's again that blend of Western and Eastern and traditional. I think it's amazing that we have that, but I feel like it should be a last resort. And this is a philosophy that's carried through the entire Nature Care line. It's great that we have Western medicine. It's great that we have that. But it shouldn't be our first resort. Our first resort should be to work with our bodies, to work with our skin from a holistic side. Skincare is absolutely critical. But in that also, well, what are you eating? What are you doing? What kind of hair products even you're using. If you see your clients are mostly breaking around their hairline, I'm like, something's up with your hairline. Even simple things like the pillowcase, the cell phone. It's so straightforward to us, but we have to educate our clients about this. So, it's very, very important that your clients understand that they're not just coming in for that one session. If you're not there yet, I wish for you to be able to tell your clients, we're either on your journey or I'm not the esthetician for you, so you're at a level where it's really what you do is so valued, and it really is life transforming. If you are able to get your hands on a client and completely change their skin from that acne state to, their skin might still be acneic, but now they're breaking out so much less, or if they break out, it heals so much quickly. And then they eventually, as long as, they're consistent with you, you start to transition them into then maybe age management, whatever it is, so that your clients can grow with you and you grow with your clients. So let's look at some of the most common factors of acne. Diet. What does that mean? What are some of the most common dietary impacts or triggers of acne? So dairy. Dairy is an inflammatory food. Okay. Refined sugars. Refined sugars can be a culprit for acne. And on a side note, we're not focusing so much on age preventative today. Even though I do want to mention the entire treatment protocol has very advanced age preventative ingredients as well. So even though we're treating acne, you're still targeting their skin to maintain that youthful appearance. So, and the treatment protocol is designed in a way that you can adjust and fine tune it for all stages of acne. And whether you have a teen acne client or adult acne, the protocol is designed in a way that you have everything you need to work with all stages. So we mentioned refined, spicy foods, and I don't believe I don't talk about rosacea a lot in the PowerPoint, but I do want to mention rosacea in the most simplest terms is like an inflammatory skin condition. It's also categorized, there's different types of rosacea, and rosacea in a more extreme case, it's essentially a type of acne. Again, I'm being so rude, so basic in the way. I just want to set that in the background also, because the protocol is designed to treat also acne rosacea as well. So spicy food is another type of food that can exacerbate rosacea and also can make acne worse. Or even if, say, you have a client where usually they're not so reactive to spicy foods, if they're coming in and you're doing an extraction, in the demo, I'm not going to be doing extraction, but extraction is a given in the protocol, and you'll see it on there. But especially post-treatment, post-extraction, you tell them do not eat any spicy foods. It will just make your skin irritated. Mind you, we do have, our secret 911 rescue, secret weapons of how we take down the inflammation and the redness. But again, from every approach, we really want to be able to gift our clients the skin transformation. So that's why I touch upon all these little different things. So stress. Stress is a very big culprit of acne and many other things. But to explain it in very simple, quick terms, why is stress actually a culprit to acne? What's actually happening? So when we are stressed, this elevates our cortisol levels in the body. When our cortisol levels are increased, this activates our immune response. So what happens when we're activating our immune response? Inflammation, okay? And actually, by the way, there's so many resources available to you, but one article I wrote several years ago was talking about how stress impacts women specifically. Highly recommend to check that out. Literally, I break down what's happening in the body. But to go back, so I fine print. I have pregnancy brain. If you would catch me going off topic, please bring me back. I don't want to lose you guys. So, okay, so what's happening? So inflammation in the body. So first of all, this is a huge culprit to acne, which we're trying to fight it here, but then we have this other issue that we're battling with as well. Besides for it being a culprit to acne, it's also very immune compromising. Why? Because if we're constantly stressed and we're constantly activating this immune response, this actually begins to weaken our immune system. So there's so much more beyond it, beyond even the acne. So if we're constantly stressed, our immune systems become weaker because they're in this constant high alert. So we're triggering acne, but we're also weakening our immune systems by constantly being stressed. So it's like, okay, but we're still stressed. So the tip is try to discuss with your clients just different things that they like to do. And this is something I discuss with them in like first consultation, and then maybe like 3-4 weeks in, you know, how are your stress levels? You just want to get them present to being able to do something. We can get rid of our stress. Like, who can get rid of our stress? Not me. You know what I mean? But we want to guide them to kind of be able to manage those stress levels. And explain to them, when you actually explain to them that, you know, this is triggering your acne, but this is also making you more vulnerable to even getting sick, then they're like, okay, you know. Some of the things, just very basic, meditation, yoga, dancing, reading, whatever. Take the extra 5 minutes and get to know your client, and you'll connect with them that much more. The fact that they'll see, well, why would I go? Why would I, you know, I'm here with my skin specialist who really cares about my skin. So over the years, some of the feedback I've gotten from our spa partners is that their clients tell them, listen, I feel like you really care about my skin. I'm not just coming, the medical field is so important for the diagnosing side of it, but they're diagnosing person, you know what I mean? They're not diagnosing you. And what makes us so unique and special is that every client we approach with such a personalized touch, and we really want to transform their skin for them. But let's be honest, it is so gratifying when we see where our clients start to where they come. Hormonal imbalance and fluctuation. So this is extremely important, and this is one of the keys that truly sets the Not Pure holistic acne corrective treatment apart from any other acne treatment out there. So hormonal acne, the most signature areas of when somebody has hormonal acne is usually the jawline area. And we'll talk about what's actually happening a little bit further once we start going into the ingredient technologies. But hormonal acne is a very, very common concern, both amongst younger clients. I found that it's a little bit more common amongst like teenage boys when they're 13. I find that with female clients, they deal with hormonal acne a little bit more toward later puberty and maybe even in their 20s. But it's very, very individual. I'll share some of my before and afters with you guys, but also always remember to take before and afters because it's just part of the journey and part of the process. Okay? And then another common factor is improper hygiene. So this is usually more common amongst younger acne clients. But listen, you know, you have clients who are older that maybe like they don't know all of the different things. So if you have a client who's very athletic, you know, I would recommend, you know, have the clarifying skin tonic in your gym bag and just wipe your skin when you're done. Or maybe the pillowcase, maybe they're not changing their pillowcase enough. You know, makeup brushes. We want to make sure that there's no accumulation of bacteria built up. Those are some of the most common. A few other things just to touch upon. Cell phones. I mean, most people today are using headpieces, AirPods, whatever it is. But if you see that one side of your client's skin has acne and the other one is fine, it's usually one of two things. A, it's their cell phone, or B, that is the side that they sleep on. Because when you're sleeping, your skin might be excreting a little bit more sebum, oil production, or sweat, and that pooling on the skin becomes a breeding ground for P. acnes, the acne-causing bacteria. And to mention, good morning. To mention, P. acnes, it's a bacteria that is always sitting on our skin, and it is a very opportunistic bacteria. What does that mean? It means it's always there, but it's waiting for that perfect environment to make its way through the pore, where it then attacks the follicle and then causes, in most cases, it causes those very, very painful papules. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be pus-filled, but that's what I mean when I say they're opportunistic. It's just give it that one, touch your face once when, it's in its like ready to activate mode, and that can trigger those breakouts. Any questions about the common factors? So let's talk about acne grades. Acne grades, there are 4 different grades of acne, and believe it or not, grade 1, blackheads on your nose, that's considered grade 1 acne. So something very, very basic. So then you're like, well, everyone has some level of acne. Well, a lot of us do have some level of acne. That's the most simplest one, and we don't even think about it as acne, but just so you have the education and background as the foundation as well. Grade 2 would be moderate acne. So if there's occasional breakouts, and maybe it's, when you were really stressed and the cortisol level maybe could have caused you to break out. Or maybe your skin is always flawless, but during those like monthly fluctuations, you get a little bit, nothing crazy, you put a little spot treatment and you're good to go. That would be moderate. Grade 3 severe acne. I would say this is probably one of the more common acne grades that we work with, because even though I've worked with a handful of grade 4 acne, usually with grade 4 acne it is so severe that the clients just assume that they need to go straight to the dermatologist. And with grade 3 acne, there's a combination of comedones, blackheads, papules, and pustules. So it's a whole slew of concerns and inflammation, and it's probably painful. But with grade 4 acne, cystic, we're already talking about nodular acne. So it's fluid-filled. And unfortunately, with clients that have grade 4 acne, it is almost inevitable that there will be some acne scarring. Good morning. So that's also very, very important to keep in mind when we're putting our clients on that treatment plan, because with grade 3 and grade 4 acne, very often we start with just treating their symptoms, and at the same time, with the patented technology, we're treating the cause, but we're also prepping their skin to, down the line, have to probably correct any post-acne blemishes, post-acne scarring. With grade 4 acne, it is almost guaranteed once you can fully make that difference for their skin in that stage. For acne, you're going to be working on their acne scarring. But thank goodness we have really amazing options for that as well. But that's like a whole other class. So, any questions about the grades? Okay, perfect. So just some quick run through. Whiteheads, they're essentially, so all of our pores, essentially, they are hair follicles. And through the pores, we have an excretion of sebum, oil, sweat, and dead skin cells. So when they accumulate and then oxidize, that is what is known as blackhead. They are whiteheads when they are not oxidized, okay? That's a whitehead. I don't have it up there, but I do want to mention what is the difference between a whitehead and amelia. Amelia is kind of like, well, it's not kind of like, it's a whitehead, but it's a whitehead that doesn't have passage to make its way through. It's covered by a cell membrane, and it looks like a bump under the skin. And amelia is very, very complicated. By the way, dairy foods can be, if you see somebody that has a lot of amelia, very often something as simple as maybe decreasing their dairy intake can make a difference to decrease the amount of amelia under their skin. And amelia can't, you'll have clients, maybe you even had experience, like you see the breakout and you're like, it literally looks like it's so close to the surface, and and you try to extract it and nothing is happening, it doesn't come out. The reason is because it's covered by membrane, and the cell membrane, and the only way to actually extract Amelia is with a lancet. So now here's where it gets a little bit complicated. As a New York, New Jersey licensed professional, I know that even the two neighboring states, state board regulations are so different. You know, they may have changed at this point from when I originally got licensed, but like New York, we were always allowed to use lancets. In New Jersey, you were only allowed to use a comedone extractor. So I, after 10 years of practicing, was like, my personal choice, I was like, I'm no longer going to use a comedone extractor. But that's very common, especially in states when you're not allowed to use lancets. Why? Because as somebody who also had acne, I remember when a comedone extractor was used on my skin versus just like the lancet and like different hand and finger techniques. And it was just so excruciatingly painful. So I was like, I am committing to doing extractions that are at least uncomfortable as possible. That also went into designing the protocol, making sure the skin is so prepped so that the experience of extraction is not a nightmare for your clients. But again, with Melia, the only way you can extract them is with a lancet. Of course, proper preparation and everything, but we're going to go into the protocol probably in about 5-10 minutes anyway, once we finish the slides. But if you are not allowed to use a lancet, leave it alone. Just work on it week after week, you know, incorporate the products and the ingredients will do the job, but don't try to extract it because you're going to irritate it, but you still can't break that cell membrane. And then papules and pustules, again, this is very like skincare 101, but just so we can go through it. Papules are red inflammation. Doesn't necessarily mean that they are pus-filled or infection-filled. And pimples or pustules are in fact debris or pus-filled, which is again a combination of dead skin cells and the pus itself. It is a bacteria. It's an infection. So, you know, I feel like back in the day, it was very, very common to do massage post-extraction, and for the fact of not wanting to massage or overstimulate already the exposed skin, especially an acne client, I generally recommend that if you're going to do massage, do it under steam. Do it under steam with the products, which will go into the demo. So, A, you're doing the massage because massage is amazing for your skin. That's something else. But B, this also helps deeper penetrate the actives and the ingredients that prep the skin, that help soften the congestion. Also, it makes your extraction significantly easier, which is great for you as a professional. But believe me, your clients appreciate it. If you're struggling with the extraction, it's probably likely that the extraction is extremely unpleasant and painful. Like, you're gonna be that esthetician that's like, oh my gosh, your extractions, I can't even feel it. I've never had it. I've never had such a I don't want to say pleasant, but I guess almost pleasant extraction experience. So let's talk about our main key actives in the treatment. Hypophyberry, that is one of our original concepts, which I mentioned in the beginning. Hypophyberry is also known as sea buckthorn, and it is one of the healing actives in this treatment. It is also one of our original concepts that we introduced to the skincare industry over 25 years ago. And what is it doing in the treatment? What is it doing for treating acne? So first of all, it is, excuse me, it is very, very deeply nourishing for the skin. So you're infusing a very high dose of vitamin A, okay? And vitamin A, you know, we've heard retinol and retinoids, but essentially this is all vitamin A derivatives. It doesn't work per se aggressively like retinoid, but you're getting this abundant dose of vitamin A. Then you're getting a very high dose of vitamin C. So this is great for promoting collagen production. It's great for helping the skin heal itself, because with acne, you're both treating the actual problem, but at the same time, you also are trying to activate this self-healing ability as well. So it has a bioactive skin soothing complex, so it's very, very soothing and calming. Also, the combination of vitamin C and E just naturally occur and creates these UV protective abilities for the skin as well. And you're getting beta-carotene, omega-3, 6, 9, so lots of anti-inflammatory action. Very, very nourishing. And I mentioned this in anytime I ever talk about this ingredient, but what makes it so unique is that in Eastern Europe, hippophae berry oil is used in burn victim clinics for its healing abilities. So the rare omega-7, which is sourced only from hippophae berries in nature, it just has an incredible healing ability that helps heal, correct, and repair acne concerns as well. Any questions? So our next bioactive, and this is, I would say, probably like the rock star of it all. This is really the technology that sets this acne treatment apart from any other acne treatment out there. And this treatment originally was available just through medical spas because it is a clinical treatment, but it's still a holistic clinical treatment. So eventually we started making it available for all of our licensed professionals to offer this, not just those that were working in that more medical spa setting. But the patented technology, it is super unique. So I'm diving right in without giving the backstory, just because I want to move along quickly. But what's so special about the Soy Doctor patented ingredient technology is that it is able to work and manipulate our body's receptors, but without introducing anything foreign into our body. We're not introducing any hormones, we're not introducing anything foreign or invasive, but it is able to trick our hormone receptors, and in this way we are able to offset hormone-related acne without introducing any medication or anything foreign into our bodies. So, by the way, you can get a deeper dive of all of this on our website, because I feel like I'm like scratching the surface. I'm not even giving it justice here, but I'm like, we don't have 5-hour training session here, we have an hour and a half. But if you imagine our body and our receptors, so let's first look at it from the side of like menopausal skin. We know that if a woman is approaching menopause, her estrogen levels are dropping. So that means, imagine in our body we have hormones and we have receptors. So normally in youthful balanced skin, there's a balance of hormone, which imagine that to be your lock, and receptor, imagine that to be your key. So when everything is in balance, there's a constant activation of key to lock, or hormone, activate receptor, hormone, activate receptor. So if somebody is approaching menopause, premenopause, menopause, or postmenopause, the estrogen levels are dropping, so now you have a whole bunch of locks or receptors that are not being activated. So this accelerates skin aging and causes a slew of skin changes that, as a woman approaches menopause, it seems like in a 5-year period, her skin ages more than it does over like a 30-year period. So why did I start there? Because I want you guys now to see how this like mind-blowing advanced ingredient technology works through its adaptogenic ability. So the ingredient technology has a self-sensing ability where it knows where the balance is off in the body. So if somebody is mature, hormonal, in the sense that their estrogen levels are so low that the receptors are not responding and they're aging extremely fast, and the fine lines, the wrinkles, everything, the collagen drop. So with somebody who has hormonal acne, it's the other side of it. And this is why this ingredient technology is so advanced. It knows, it senses where that imbalance is. So what's happening with hormone-related acne? The other side. There are too many keys And what are those keys? Androgens, male hormones, testosterone. There are too many keys, and there's not enough, or the locks or hormone receptors are being bombarded by too many keys, okay? So how does this patented ingredient technology work to offset hormone-related acne? It naturally, instead of activating the hormone receptor without introducing a hormone or a key into the body, it actually blocks the hormone receptor, again, without introducing anything foreign or medication into the body. So the receptor doesn't even see all these excess keys, okay? It's like there isn't an overactive androgen system going on. Does that make sense? I literally tried to, I felt like I'm being so wordy, but I just really want to make sure that you guys, it's such an advanced technology, but I want to make sure you can visualize it, because then you can understand how it's actually working. So it's really, I think it's mind-blowing, but, and this is our patented ingredient technology. It's actually my father's patent, but by blocking androgen receptors, we are able to not just, so most of the acne, if not all of the acne treatments out there, they work just to treat the symptoms, which is fine and it's normal. And the entire holistic acne corrective treatment, absolutely it works to correct acne symptoms. But what makes it so unique and so special and gives that non-medication solution to your clients is that we are actually working and targeting the cause. By working and targeting the cause, we're not just constantly treating the symptoms. And I mentioned before that, you know, if a client is still there having their stress, whatever it is, they're hormonal, they're still gonna break out, they find that as they continue to treat with you weeks, months at a time, A, they start breaking out less, and B, if they do break out, it clears up faster, it heals faster. I can't tell you how many of my clients who started as adult hormonal acne, now we're just purely on age preventative or age reversing protocols. Like, acne is the thing of the past. Now I'm treating, you know, her son who's dealing with one particular client I'm thinking, you know, so it's, and I mentioned before, for anybody who joined us a little bit later, you know, being able to make that difference for your clients who have acne, it is life transforming. And I mentioned before on the before and after that you see, that was me. I know what it's like to have acne, and when you're able to make that difference for your clients, you really can change everything for them, okay? Any questions? Oh, and then the actual, it's the patented ingredient technology, it's Soy Beauty, the actual complex which is derived through the patented ingredient technology is called genistein, okay? Any questions on that? I literally just did a 2-hour class for you guys in 15 minutes just on this one thing. And that is me. That is me. So, I know, I've been there.
Like, it doesn't look like you.
It's me, it's me. And I mentioned earlier, my most severe acne was when I was in my 20s. When you're like when you're most like, you should be socializing and going out. Like, I find that my teen clients don't, the girls are very, very conscious about it. But the guys, I'm like, you know, this is gonna boost your confidence. His mom's like, he doesn't care, he's sitting in front of his kids. So I'm like, okay, how can I like inspire him not to like slack with his routine? So, enzymes. Enzymes is another bioactive component of the treatment. And there's a different combination of how we're exfoliating, resurfacing, retexturizing the skin, but enzymes is one of them. We're incorporating a different combination, some fruit acids. We'll go into more specifically the different specific steps and what's in there, but the enzymes, they work by gently breaking down the cellular glue that holds the keratin together, which is keratin, also known as our skin cells. And in this way, in a non-mechanical approach, we're able to swap away any dead skin cells. This enhances and promotes microcirculation, which is very, very important. The better we can, you know, promote that microcirculation, the better is the skin's ability to nourish itself, to enhance its own oxygen levels. And of course, the step that has the highest concentration of the enzymes is the pumpkin enzyme brightening peel. There's also other actives in there that work to actually brighten complexion, but also correct holistically any kind of blemishes or dark spots. Because with acne, it's never just the breakouts. It's always the breakouts, and then the blemishes, and then the dark spots, and then the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation that follows. So this is a really complex and one of the most rewarding skin conditions to treat. Questions on that? Okay, there are a plethora, a ton of healing holistic herbs and botanicals in the treatment. I'll talk about the different individual extracts when we're actually working with it, but in a nutshell, to put it all in one basket, you're getting antibacterial properties, antimicrobial properties, antifungal properties, because we know the nature of some types of acne can be even fungal. Which, by the way, we didn't even touch upon the different supplements I recommend for clients with acne, but I guess we'll save that for a different training. I keep forgetting that we're on like a little bit of a time crunch. Yes.
Yeah, since you just mentioned supplements and going back into soy, which was a topical, right?
Mm-hmm.
You recommend topical. So I took a course a couple months back about acne, and they mentioned not to incorporate soy, but eating soy. What's your feedback on that?
I love when I get questions about soy, and I can talk about this alone for like 45 minutes. But please, guys, like tap into our resources. I've written so many articles, like specifically about all these different topics, and you'll also encounter professionals or opinionators presenting themselves as experts, saying that soy is bad for you. Stay away from soy if you have acne. So I've written so much stuff on this. How to minimize it in like 2 minutes. So. Any propaganda that has come out about soy over the last 8 to 10 years, it was all, if you really dig further back, it was either funded by the pharmaceutical industry or it was funded by the meat industry. Like, what do they care about? Skincare, right? And the reason that they care is, by the way, now when I used to mention this in my classes like 7 years ago, it wasn't reality yet. Today it is reality. So the meat industry was worried that, if people are going to be so focused on soy, they're going to start eating less meat. Isn't that what happened? Like when I was teaching this in my classes 7 years ago, it was like, that. So that's exactly what happened in the meat industry and pharmaceutical industry. Why do they care about soy? Why? Because, for example, a company like Merck is a multi-billion-dollar industry for hormone replacement therapy. Right? And it's not even pertaining to acne per se. From acne, it's even a different side. But they didn't want, by the way, they still eventually, like 8 years later, started working on an alternative, and they quoted my dad's patent in their research. But they didn't want that out there. They don't want people to go the natural alternative. They want people buying medication. So when it comes to soy is actually, it has so many incredible benefits to the body, and it's actually known as anti-carcinogenic, meaning it can combat cancer, anti-carcinogenic, that's what it means. But your only concern with soy is if it is genetically modified, okay? That's a whole other conversation. Genetically modified soy, there is some truth about the propaganda in regards to genetically modified soy. But to mention any of the genistein, which is soy derived through our patented technology, it is grown in the Midwest and it is 100% non-genetically modified. So that is a very important point to be aware, because if it's genetically modified, then it's a problem. But as far as how it actually impacts the body, it actually helps create this homeostasis or balance within the body, but without introducing something foreign like a hormone into our body. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Yes? If you want me to go further I'm happy to also answer questions after and send us an email because I know it's such a loaded topic, and I get very, very passionate about it because for like almost the last 10 years I've been like, no, soy is good for you, don't listen to it. And it's so interesting because the patented technology was created by my father, another scientist from Yale University. He actually just literally, I don't want to get into that, but he passed away recently. But anything that was coming out, like something new about soy, my dad, like immediately, he would call me, and Mark Sienkiewicz, the other scientist, had resources to all of the science and research and anything that was coming out new. And the propaganda was going on and on for years. It's like, oh, this new thing. So we'd call Mark, and did something new come out? Absolutely not. It was being represented, and experts that were presenting it as like evidence and science. It was all opinion, but for good or bad, better or worse, today, it's very important. We're bombarded with information, so it's very, very important to always dig down to the core. Well, is this expert qualified to state this as science? Because most of the information out there, it is opinion-based, which is okay when it comes to certain things, but when it comes to something more severe, I'm not okay with it, So as far as that goes, any questions as far as anything you covered so far? Okay, perfect. So we're going to get into the treatment demo in just a couple more minutes. I don't see the time. How are we on time? Apparently yesterday was a disaster with the time.
It's 11.
11. And how much time do we have
30
left?
minutes.
30 minutes.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
so much.
Everybody knows by this point I get sidetracked, so let's stay focused. So the prescribed home care basics essentials are 2 products which I'll go into. They're part of the treatment protocol. This is the very basic. We're not getting into the recommended cleanser, which, by the way, one of the recommended, you have 2 different acne cleansers for your clients depending on if you want to do more of a holistic or clinical side of it. And remember, we're always with all of nature's pure formulations, it's always that dance between the clinical and a holistic, natural, organic side. And with many formulas, it's a blend of both. So even the salicylic acid cleanser, even with the salicylic acid cleanser, you're still getting so many herbs in there. Or if you want to do something outside of salicylic acid, because salicylic acid is a little bit more of an aggressive, more aggressive ingredient. You have the sulfur botanical soap wash, which was compared to a $400 prescription cleanser. Mind you, this is a cleanser that you sell to your clients, I think, at like $40. That's their price. I don't remember your membership price on it. But the very, very basic, to make sure that you're re-educating and enabling that androgen blocking effect is these 2 products. Anything else, they are important, but this is like the prescribed mandatory daily home care so that you can actually enable that the changes to the skin. So where these 2 products are working not per se specifically on the symptoms of acne, they're working on the cause of acne. So we want to minimize, decrease the amount that your skin is breaking out, and when the client's skin is breaking out, it will heal faster. And this has the highest concentrations of that patented ingredient technology. So I'm going to share a few before and afters. I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit bright in here, but this was a client very, very early. He was kind of dancing at the line of stage 2. He did eventually progress to a stage 3 acne, and then we took him back. But any of the before and afters that you see there, all post 1 session. I'll tell you which are before and afters are after a series. Okay. This was also post 1 session, very, very mild acne. And one thing I wanted to mention is, yes, you achieve a beautiful glow. The texture is very smooth. Any of the uneven pigment, dark spots, it immediately looks brighter. But When you start working with the more severe acne, that's where you start actually making a difference for like that more, the breakouts, the pustules, the papules, the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So the next one, I mentioned before, this was my 8-week case study. If you are curious to watch, it was 2-minute videos over 8 videos where you can see her transformation. Literally, I always get emotional when I watch the last interview with her. Literally, getting rid of her acne changed her life. And was the mom that I said, she's a mom of 3, works with autistic children, and she just thought, she didn't even bother. She's like, I didn't think that anybody could make a difference for me. And these were results after 8 weeks. So her texture was dramatically smoother. After the 8-week case study, we still continued to control the acne, but I started working and focusing more on her post-acne scarring as well, which we mentioned before. Unfortunately, that's usually the next step once you're able to get their acne under control. And you can see it was just her skin was complete transformation. So this was the before and after. This also was not one treatment session. We're talking about months here. Consistent home care. It included the basic prescribed home care products, but it did also include the sulfur-botanical soap wash. It included a lot of other things, but I do want you, if your client's like, well, what must I use? They must use in the regimen those 2 products. But the truth is, you do need to put together a full regimen for them because they're coming in. Usually, if somebody's at a stage 3 or higher acne, for at least the first 2 months, I have them come in weekly. Okay, weekly. It is very important because before you can even start to correct, you have to first reverse. You have to get everything out so then all of the actives and ingredients can penetrate properly and work the way that they're supposed to. So this was also a teen, this was before and after 6 months. And this was another case where it literally was life-changing for her. She was so self-conscious. Okay, so let's look at numbers quickly, and then we'll get into the treatment. Because yes, the transformation for our clients is number 1, but number 2, we have to still look at the numbers. We have to know what it's costing us, and you know what's coming back to us. So the entire treatment bundle, everything you need to be able to treat all 4 stages of acne, this is it. And you get a gift with this treatment kit, which is a box of 10 ampules, which is the Bright and Clear Refining Serum ampules. This is if you wanted to do like an add-on booster. So it's just a gift for you, a gift for your clients, but you would charge them, if you're going to incorporate this as an add-on, you would charge per ampule an additional add-on fee. But this comes as a gift with your treatment kit. So that's what's $350 investment. Okay? And you're able to do about 50 treatment sessions with one kit because the formulas are so concentrated. You don't need a lot of product, which is very nice. The recommended price for this treatment session is $150. Okay? I will tell you though, I charge $180 for this session. But the average of our spa partners charge $150 for this treatment. Yes?
And you're charging $180 weekly beginning, or is this, because you mentioned for the first couple weeks they're coming weekly?
So when they come in weekly, you sell them packages, okay? I actually didn't include it in this training, but the way that I usually do it, when they buy a series of 6, I give them 10% off the package. So 180 times 6 minus 10% off, and then I give them 10% off their home care. Okay? When they buy a series of 12, I give them 15% off the total package, and then 15% off their home care. The home care typically can last them up to 3 months. For some clients it might be less, but if I have a client where it's like past the 3-month point, I'm like, what are you doing? You're not doing your regimen as you should, because I know if you're doing your regimen as you should, like they can run out faster for clients that get a little bit heavy on the hand, but I know 3 months tops is like, if they're not running out, that means they're not doing their regimen. And it goes back to the beginning where I mentioned, like, if you have to get your clients to sign an agreement to scare them to follow, it's like, I'm doing this for you. You know what I mean? So it's a tricky. This particular case that I'm talking about, it's usually with younger clients, because adult clients are like, I will do anything. Tell me, I will do anything. You know. Profit margin. So this one kit, which is a $351 investment, your profit margin on that is $7,149 if you're charging, say, $150. If you're charging more, your profit margin goes up. And plus, when they are buying this series, you also get a nice kind of jump to your immediate cash flow as well, which is very, very nice. Your cost per treatment is about $7. The home care, the basic home care, which is the 2 Soy Doctor products, your cost is $87. You sell those 2 products at regular price would be $207, not taking into account any other specials. So your profit per home care kit is $120. I think that's a nice profit margin. Nature Beer is known for having some of the best profit margins. Usually we're around 55 to 65% on anything that you retail. And I did mention, the home care kits, and this is one of the show specials. If you buy 6 of the same, you get 1 free. So in this case, it would be like a $207 free gift to you. I will show you the protocol as basic as possible, but if you wanted to incorporate other modalities, some professionals, after several series, will start to incorporate maybe microdermabrasion. Or maybe you're still doing these series, but now you're also treating, good morning, now you're also maybe treating the acne scarring. So now maybe you want to incorporate microneedling into every other session. So then these are other things that would then be add-ons. Or say you're getting the box of the ampules as a gift, that's another add-on, which you would charge like $20 to $35 add-on. Any questions?
How long are your treatments usually?
Oh, that's a tricky question. So, don't fall into the trap. Don't fall into the trap of, I gotta get it all out. Okay? It's impossible. It's gonna be unpleasant for the client. They think they want it, but you put them on a plan. Okay? Limit your extraction time. It's all about extraction time. The treatment protocol as is can be done probably in like 45 minutes. I'm gonna rush through, I'll just show you the general protocol, which you'll see even without it being a full, complete treatment protocol, you'll be able to see the beautiful, brightening, smoother texture results. But limit your extractions per session. Try not to go beyond 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I've had sessions where I went beyond 30 minutes just because I was like, this is gonna take us like 10 weeks, not 8 weeks. But really try, it's better for them because their skin starts to get irritated. It's not even about like, we'll do everything in one session. It's really, you don't wanna over irritate their skin. This is why you want them coming in weekly. Because the skin, if you give it 2 weeks, whatever you cleared out, our pores, that's how our bodies work. When you get clients, I want to close my pores. You can't close your pores. It's okay. We'll teach you. You'll know. You know what I mean? But they refill. As long as we're human, that's good. That's what our bodies should be doing. But we want to maintain a balance that it fills up, but not to a point where it becomes inflamed and infected, and now we're in this cycle. So limit your extractions to 20 minutes. With 20-minute extractions, technically you should be able to do the treatment session within, I would say, 55 to 75 minutes. Yes.
And you recommend to do the extraction with the steamer on, you said?
When we're gonna do the pre-extraction prep step, you can do it with steam or the steam towel approach. So come on up. We're gonna this is the protocol. Everybody should have a copy. I can leave this up, but I do want to make sure. That you have your own protocol as well. And I did mention that besides for our training session today, we are adding more and more